Hello, I'm Andy Johnston with your Grand Rapids Chamber, and I'm here today with Ryan Kilpatrick, lead consultant for Housing Next, and we're going to talk about a key community issue, and that's housing. Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Housing Next is an organization under the Chamber Foundation that's working to remove barriers, create more housing supply in our region. It's something on the minds of our community. But first, let's talk about why is housing so important to the business community?
Yeah, well, our business community generally needs to be able to grow. If we don't have the ability to hire more staff, to grow in place, then what we have to be doing is looking outside of our borders. So the big need in order to grow is people, for the most part, and those people need places to live. What we've seen in Kent and Ottawa counties over the last several decades is we're the fastest two growing counties in the state of Michigan, annual growth rate of about 10%. And so we've got to make sure that our housing production is keeping up not only with population growth, but also household growth.
So we've seen housing as an issue across the country. Why have prices risen? Why is there scarcity? Have we just not kept up? Or what would you say to that?
Yeah, broadly, we're not keeping up. And there are two dynamics. There's both population growth, so in-migration, births over deaths, those kinds of things. But there's also household growth. And that's simply when you have 4 people living in one house. The kids grow up, they're ready to move out. Now those same 4 people are occupying 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 homes. And so we need enough homes to be able to accommodate all of the people in our community. And we just haven't built enough housing, and we haven't built the kinds of housing that people need. So we've got lots of single adults, we've got lots of couples with no kids, but we don't have lots of 1- and 2-bedroom condos or townhouses or missing middle style housing to accommodate those needs.
So Housing Next has been working on this and has released a number of studies, and we just released a new study, a new assessment of where we stand in Kent and Ottawa County. What are the key takeaways?
Yeah, so big takeaways are we're making progress, right? Compared to other fast-growing places, both in the Midwest and across the country, we're doing okay, but okay is not good enough, right? We need to produce more. We still have a couple decades worth of underproduction to catch up on. So high level, we still need about 33,000 housing units across Kent County in order for supply to catch up to demand in the county. We need roughly 20,000 units in the balance of Kent County and about 14,000 new housing units in the city of Grand Rapids.
When we talk about those housing units, what type of housing units do we need? Is there a type that we really could use in our area?
Yeah, so there's both type and price point. In terms of price point, the largest need for both rental and for sale is our middle income households. People earning between $50,000 and $120,000 a year are the bulk of the housing market, and that's where we really need to be focusing our supply. We also have needs in our lower income categories, households earning below $50,000, and we're seeing pretty significant growth among households earning more than $120,000. Now, as a total share, that's still smaller, but it's growing, right? We're seeing a lot more households earning $150,000 in Kent County. And if we're not accommodating those households, what they're going to do is outcompete everybody else for the older housing. So we need to be able to produce that high-end market rate as well as middle income, as well as find solutions for our lowest income households.
Is one of those, the low, middle, high, is one of those areas more difficult than others right now with the tools that are available?
Yeah, so we tend to have a lot of subsidies and tools available for our lowest income households. Now, we typically don't have enough subsidy for all the households earning below $50,000, but we do have programs that have been created by the state and federal government. We also are able to accommodate those higher income households earning $120,000, $150,000 with just typical market rate investments. Those still pencil. But for households that are earning the $50,000 to $100,000 a year, it's difficult with the cost of construction, the cost of infrastructure, the cost of land. All of those things add up. It's difficult to make new housing product work for households in that income category, unless we start to really focus on regulatory reform and small-scale gap financing using tax increment finance or impact capital.
So that leads me into my next question. What is Housing Next doing to address, or what are some of the things that Housing Next has already done to help close this gap? And then, based upon the data in the report, what's Housing Next going to do going forward?
Yeah. So the big thing that we've done over the last year and a half or so is to fully assess the current regulatory environment, to understand what are we allowing for across all of Kent and Ottawa County. Are we allowing for the kinds of housing that we need at a variety of price points and for a variety of household sizes? Generally, the answer is no. We've got a couple of places. City of Grand Rapids has made a number of zoning amendments recently that make it easier to build small scale and missing middle housing typologies. But there's still a fair amount of work to do across the majority of our regional footprint in terms of regulatory reform. We've also been working closely with the team here at the Chamber on some legislative changes that allow for tax increment financing to support housing production, that allow for local communities to decide when they want to offer a tax incentive in a variety of formats. And we're starting to see the needle move as a result of those things. We're seeing more and more communities adopting payment in lieu of tax programs, adopting tax increment finance programs. And what's great about those is what we're only doing is leveraging new investment to pay for that more affordable and missing middle attainable housing. We're not taking a big subsidy where we're taking money away from one group and giving it to another group. We're saying, hey, if you're willing to make a $50 million investment here, we'll use those new taxes that are generated as a result of that investment to help pay for more affordable and attainable housing.
What would you say the reaction has been? I know you've been talking to some policymakers, builders, developers. How are they reacting to this new data from Housing Next?
Yes, so the data hasn't been a big surprise. I think a lot of developers and lenders have said, yep, that tracks. That's what we're seeing. I think what we're starting to hear from some folks is, gosh, we built a lot of apartments over the last 5 years. Are you sure we still need more apartments? Right. The answer to that question is yes, but in moderation, right? I think we've done a good job as a community of getting more rental supply online. And what we really want to focus now is on our corridors where we've got lots of infrastructure already in the ground and vacant or underutilized land where we can make additional investments. But we want those to become great places, right? We want them to be neighborhoods where people are proud to raise a family, proud to have a starter home, proud to age in place in these kinds of locations. So they need to be walkable, they need to be amenity rich, they need to be places that people are proud to call home. And so collectively as our communities, we want to be making all the right investments to really bolster those environments. And what we find from the data is that tends to produce more tax revenue. It tends to produce more school-age students, and it tends to produce more small businesses to serve all those folks who want to be in walkable, amenity-rich neighborhoods.
All good things driving community vibrancy. Just to wrap up, if you're a chamber member who's maybe not involved in housing, what could they do to support if they want to maybe make a difference or maybe just be aware? What do you think they should do?
Yeah. So the big thing to do is get in touch with local decision makers, whether it's a planning commission or a township board or a city council, and let them know that you care. Let them know that you're interested in having an adequate supply of housing to serve your workforce, to serve the community, to serve the local public schools. The other thing, they can always contribute to Housing Next. We're a nonprofit partnership with the Grand Rapids Chamber. We need resources to do the work that we're doing, to do the data collection, to be out in the field working with local communities. So we're always happy to take those contributions. And the other big thing is if they have any interest in making investments in their community, but they haven't done that kind of real estate development before, we're happy to partner and pair them with local community developers, both nonprofit and for-profit, to help them get the right product in the right place at the right price point.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for your leadership on this key issue for our community and for joining us. If you want more information about the data that Ryan was talking about, or to get in touch with Housing Next, stay up to date with their communications, just visit housingnext.org. Your chamber is working to drive better outcomes for our community on key business issues like this so that you can be successful. If you want to engage with your chamber, visit grandrapids.org for more information, resources, or to sign up for our newsletters. Thank you so much.